Hi friends! Hello and welcome to Old School April reading vlog. It is straight up a full week into April and I'm just now starting this vlog. I've been taking little like B-roll clips, but I have not had the time to actually sit down and start this vlog, so here we are. I just filmed my March wrap up and I had my live show this morning with or this afternoon with Crystal for the Reaper Book Club, so my voice is starting to give a little bit, but I just want to talk about some books that I have read already. I've read quite a few books. I've been keeping track. I read The Green Mile and I did the audio, but I'm going to count my serialized ones for Read What You Own. And I realized this is such a bummer. There's 6 of these in here, but I only have 5, but it's okay. It's okay. I really liked this. I gave it 5 stars. Don't really want to talk about it. It was very, very sad. If you don't know, that's like one of King's like very sad books. And it's very emotional and sad. But on a fun note, Strega, my book club pick, I freaking loved this book, which is awesome because I feel like my book club books have been very like more miss than hit, I should say, I guess. But this one hit just right, and I think I'm giving it 5 stars, honestly, because this book is vibes. This book is atmosphere, setting. There's stuff being said, but nothing really happens in it, and I'm okay with it. I'll link our live show. We had such a great discussion. Crystal is amazing, so I really love chatting about that with all of you guys who read it. Thank you so much for joining. And then I actually managed to read a book at work. This week I read Creep Over, the Truth or Dare one, and it was fun. And it came with this pretty picture of a bird, and I'm just like, this is a sign. This is a sign from the old school April gods for purple parrots, okay? I'm just saying. That's how I took it, but I used it as my bookmark, and I had a lot of fun with this one. I will say this is not as scary as a Goosebumps book. It just the creepometer has not creeped out that much. This was a ghost story. The mixed technology in it, loved the touch, but overall did not really creep me out. Just saying, I gotta read another one, I guess. But I ended up giving this one 3 stars, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing of this one. And then I read Say Cheese or Die. Yes, that was really fun. And I really like the ending of this one, but I do think I like Stay Out of the Basement more because I read this one this morning, and I think if I'm comparing these two, this one's a little boring. Stay Out of the Basement has a lot going on in it. Like, there's just so much going on, and like the climax of this one is so good. Like, I don't know, like comparing, this is definitely a 3 star, this is definitely a 4 star. I'll just leave it at that because I was just like, I forgot how crazy this shit is. But yeah, I'm having a blast. So I've read a couple books. I have a couple more Goosebumps on over here that I might get to for this vlog. I honestly like don't know what I'm reading. No plans for this vlog. I work tomorrow. I work my other job tomorrow, which is sad. And then I'm seeing some friends for my belated birthday stuff. So we'll see. And of course I work all week, so we'll see how much reading I get done. I'm still crocheting, I'm working on some stuff, and I will share that later, but this is just a little quick check-in. Okay, so it has been a couple days. I think it's been like 3 days? 2 days? I have no idea. But yeah, 3 days. And yeah, I've watched a ton of movies. A ton of movies. I haven't been reading a ton though, but I did finish The Angel of Indian Lake, and I loved it. I cried on and off throughout this, starting from the middle, and then the ending just had me tearing up, and then I stopped crying, and then Stephen Graham Jones' like acknowledgments just got me like, I don't want to start crying here. You guys have seen me cry enough this year, so I'm not gonna cry. But I will say the part that got me is when he thanked Jade for letting him spend time with her and stuff, and like write about her. I did listen to this on audio. If you see, like, I have like a little bookmark here because I was going along with it. And yeah, I just really liked it. It's really good. I have heard him talk about an adaptation in an interview, and I think that is awesome. I really hope this series gets an adaptation. I would love just more people to read it and experience it, because I think it will touch a lot of people, especially Jade's character, like on so many different levels. And yeah, he just kills it. He kills this metaphor. It comes full circle, and it just is a beautiful, beautiful story, and it's just so good. It's so good. But yeah, of course, 5 stars. Every single one of these books have been 5 stars for me. And yeah, I have goosebumps thinking about like what he actually did here. I'm like, that was genius. It's genius. It's so good. I will say this one felt more suspenseful. Is that the right word? Like more tense. Like there was like a lot of really tense moments in it where the stakes are just so high in it. And I feel like Reaper was more of like the action-y cinematic one. Well, this one was still cinematic, but it just had those like really, really tense moments and just like great atmosphere, and you know, you're with Jade, so it's great. But yeah, fantastic series. One of my favorite. I think that is my favorite series. Because I don't read a lot of series now because I don't read fantasy. So that just definitely so good. And so many homages, so many slasher references. Like I filled my to watch list because of that book. I had to stop and be like, okay, I have to add Happy Birthday to Me on this list. I've never seen that one. And yeah, it was fantastic. It was great. Yeah, I watched a ton of movies. And I'm not going to talk about all the movies I watched because it will take forever. But my Letterboxd is always linked down below, and I should be posting them to you on my stories, which are linked. My Instagram is linked down below, but I will talk about the first Omen because I was off today, and I was like, I'm going to go see this because people I trust have been telling me, you gotta see this. So yeah, and it was worth it. It's definitely worth seeing in theaters. It's great. It is so scary. I was terrified. And I think it's because it is a good movie. It is a good horror movie, not because I was alone in the theater today, which always kind of adds a little bit more like it's a little bit more scary when you're alone, but I absolutely loved it. I was 40 minutes into it and I was like, this was directed by a woman. I had no idea who directed it before, but when I left I looked it up, and yep, it was directed by a woman. It feels very much like womanhood horror, and it's portrayed like that. I wouldn't say it's like religious horror, even though it is like taking place in the church and stuff like that. I didn't get those vibes I usually get from religious horror, if that makes sense. There was definitely a lot of homage, it felt like, to the movie Possession, the Sam Neill movie. There's like a scene straight out of that, I feel like, and it's just done so well. And hats off to this director. I believe this is a debut, and wow, what a way to make your debut, for sure. There's stuff in this that I think is gonna give me nightmares. So, I was just like this, like the whole time, like, ooh, 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 you know? If you're a woman and you watched it, you probably felt the same. You're like, oh, yikes. As for crafting, I did make some scrunchies the past couple of days. I've made 3 pink scrunchies. I still have to weave in the ends. And I made one of these purpley ones. Purple scrunchie. And then I made this one out of scrap yarn, which I kind of am obsessed with it. I really like how it turned out. So I'm definitely keeping that one for myself. If you're wondering why I'm making so many scrunchies, hopefully one day I will start a little shop and sell them. I don't know if it will happen at the end of this month or at the end of this vlog. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But yeah, I made a black one too. So I made some scrunchies. I have more of this color I want to use up to make scrunchies. And then I'm going to try to make like 2 more colors. I just want like a variety. Like, I don't want to have all the same colors on if I do start to sell them, you know, because that's just boring. And I really like the velvet ones. I like how soft they are. They're just like super soft and fluffy, and they're just beautiful, honestly. I think they're the prettiest ones I've made. I've been kind of experimenting with different yarn, different weights of yarn, and I think these are like the best kind. As for reading plans for the rest of the week, I'm going to try to read a Goosebumps book tonight, and then, like, I forget the name of this book, but I'm going to try to listen to it. It's 4 o'clock already, but hopefully I can read 2 more books today on my day off, just so I can, like, feel, like, a little productive. And I also want to play some Donkey Kong Country 2 for my activity prompt. But that is all I have planned. I might be in the chat on Cat Sprints and just saying hi. And yeah, that is it for this check-in. Okay, so it has been a couple of days since I last checked in, and yeah, I finished more books, which is awesome. I finished a little bit more crafting stuff, and I've watched a ridiculous amount of Adult Swim cartoons. So yeah, I'm killing it. My shoulder just popped, ignore that. So books, we'll talk about books first, and then the other stuff. So I finished The Hidden Evil by R.L. Stine. This is the Fear Street saga. I actually found this pretty recently at my thrift store, and I was like, oh, I don't own any Fear Street books, but these are like set in like Victorian times, apparently, all of them, and this is like a ghost murder mystery story, and I was like hooked at the beginning of this. It opens up with somebody telling a story, which is very reminiscent to Turn of the Screw, and then we jump to the actual people in the story, and I really loved it. I devoured it. I read, I think, almost half of it while I was at work, and then I brought it home that night, which I don't usually do. I'll leave my workbook at work, and then I brought it home and I like stayed up and finished it. I really enjoyed it. It gave me almost like Katie vibes, which is my recommendation for Old School April, Katie by Michael McDowell. It had these like revenge ghost things, have a ghost happening in it. It was great. It was pretty brutal, and yeah, I just had a blast with it. I think I'm leaning towards a 4-star because it was kind of cheesy. It did have those Fear Street vibes, or it was like over the top and cheesy, and it's like teenagers telling the story. And then I read Let's Get Invisible. This was on my TBR, and yeah, it was okay. I might just be getting burnout on Goosebumps because I've read so many Goosebumps this month already. It was not my fave, but I do remember really liking this episode, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, and then I read Beast from the East, which is a host recommendation. I believe it's Kelly from Hooked on Books host recommendation. And yeah, again, I think I'm just kind of burnt out on it. I'm just over Goosebumps right now, so I think I'm giving both of these 3 stars, unfortunately, because they were just like, meh, they're just easy. And then I've been reading The October Society by Christopher Robertson, and I'm almost done. I think I'm on the last, or I'm on the second to last story. This is kind of set up like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like the October Society meets in the woods around a fire to each tell a story. So we get the kids that... My lights have fallen. So we get the kids that are telling the story, and then we get commercial breaks in this, which are actually really fun, and they're little, like, what's the term? Easter eggs to, like, Christopher Robertson's other work. And yeah, I am enjoying it. I will say there's a story in here where I was like really disappointed at the ending. All my lights are falling. And I wanted something else to happen, but also this is like a PG-13 work. This isn't his rated R work like Cotton Candy Massacre or anything. So I do get why it's toned down a bit, but yeah, also I have a tough time with short story collections because I'll read a story and I'll just be like whatever, and then also the kids will cut in to, I believe it's like after a commercial break or something too, so you'll get cut back into the kids telling the story, and they're kind of annoying now. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, just tell the story. Focus. But I mean, it's set up like a TV show, so I get it. There is a couple stories in here that I did really like so far, so I'm getting through it. I'm enjoying it, but yeah, I just have a tough time because I have like ADD, so I'm like, okay, I read one, I'm done. And then I read Your Shadow Half Remains by Sunny Moraine. I listened to this one on Everand, and this is the Pyramid Book Club's pick for this month. And I missed the live show because I was at work, and I can't be on my phone at work. It's so sad. It's really sad, and it's been very difficult, but I'm surviving, I guess. But I'll have to go back and watch the live show. So this is kind of like a pandemic book. There's like this weird pandemic that gave me, what is it? Bird Box vibes. Like people are just like, you know. And it does have something to do with like looking too. So it gave me like, I was just like, is this just Bird Box? Okay. Cool. And there's like bird stuff going on in this. There is animal cruelty in this too for a bird, so the parrot in me was just like, excuse me, how dare you. It was to a crow, and I felt really bad. I was like, ugh, you guys know me and animal cruelty. I'm like, it needs to like have like a purpose. I don't know if it had a purpose in this, which is annoying. And it's a short book, and it's like, you didn't need that. Like, it goes the extra mile. I would say the horror is that scene, and that's because I didn't really feel scared at all. It's more of like a mystery thing too, because it's like our main character is really paranoid, and she's questioning herself, and yeah, it was like a lot happening, but also like I feel like nothing really happened in it. I think there's a lot of setup in it for it to be a novella. So unfortunately, I think I'm giving this 1.5 stars. I finished it and I was like, I have no idea what I just listen to. And I did not listen to it fast. I listened to it like a normal person at like 2 times speed. That's a normal person, right? Speed. And yeah, I was just like, what the heck did I even listen to? I have no idea. But the cover's cool. I like the cover. And I will have to go back and listen to that live show about it. I'm really interested to hear what they thought. So I was watching my friend Ashley's OSA vlog. If you don't know Ashley, she's a spooky little book nerd. I'll link her channel down below, and she is killing it at OSA. I'm just gonna say it. And she found a Killer Clowns freaking diamond painting at a thrift store and did the whole thing. I was amazed. I was a little jealous, I'm not gonna lie. But I remembered I have a Beetlejuice diamond painting that I might have been targeted, advertised to from Temu. It's not open now. But it is the cartoon Beetlejuice one. And I'm just gonna show it because I totally keep forgetting I have it. And I need to do it for OSA, but it's huge. If it was like a little one, I might have be able to do it. I don't know. I do want to work on it though, but it looks so cool. I love the colors in it. Oh, it looks amazing. Also, like, hashtag goals for this Lydia, like always, style-wise. But yeah, I do want to work on that, but I thought I would just share that because seeing Ashley do that diamond painting of the Killer Clowns, I was like, oh my gosh, I have one too, but it's not as cool, and I didn't find it at the thrift store, whatever. I did make some scrunchies last night, watching C-Lab 2021, and this is the Burnett velvet yarn, and you can see there's like, it's like different. I used the same hook. I used pretty much, well, almost the same amount of stitches. Each hair tie is different for that, but I was like, these are they're like different sizes, but oh well. And then I worked on my sleeve for my new granny square cardigan. So I do have the other panel of this, I just haven't connected it yet, and this one, I don't know if I talked about it, I'm going to have it be longer because at my full-time job, it's freezing in there. Usually, it's either freezing or it's like 1,000 degrees, and they said summer, it's going to be colder in there. But as you can tell with this sleeve, so I was going in a pattern, I was switching out colors, and then I got to this sleeve and I was like, I switched out one color, which I messed up. I messed up a bunch doing the connection and starting the sleeve because it was the switching out of the yarn, I think, just confused me, and I might have done it a little backwards, but I mean, I think it looks right for the most part. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick to like one color and go out, and then the cuff, I might just make the purple, a dark purple, or the probably purple I might do for my cuff here. But yeah, I got one done. Hopefully it doesn't look too weird like that, but yeah, so that is my crochet project. My big crochet project for right now is that, and I think that is everything. I think that's everything for this vlog. This vlog is probably going to be very long. I don't know if I'm going to do the second half of April vlog, maybe, but let me know if you've watched any cool movies for old school April, or just in general, or read any cool books. I feel like I'm getting a lot of reading done, but honestly, I looked at all my reading this month so far, and it's mostly Goosebumps. So I'm like, let's be real. I know those count, but it's not like I feel like it's not a full book for sure. It's like a kid's middle grade book. But anyways, I'm having a blast. Even though I'm working a ton, and I'm still trying to join in when I can with posting photos over on Instagram, which is always linked down below. I think I talked about that already. And yeah, I just hope you guys have a fantastic day and a fantastic week, and I hope you're having an awesome Old School April. Bye!
Audio Jungle.